Hey guys, this is Alex from 4C Trading, and today I want to talk a little bit about Litecoin, since we do have a couple of opportunities on it, and it is currently hanging, in a little bit of a peculiar area to begin with, right? So if we zoom in a little bit on Litecoin, just from the retrospect on the right side, speaking of which, you can see a little bit of a higher time frame structure, which it can be pretty much easily spotted on daily, and you can see that we already have tested this structure on the Litecoin and didn't get that big of a reaction. We only got like 20%, right? Nothing too special, and thus reacting to this structure already and not breaking the top, we do have chances of failing this structure and going underneath it, and that would bring a little bit of a bearishness to Litecoin, which could potentially give us some good entries to begin with, right? But all is not lost, because currently we're still holding above it, and we have a couple of opportunities on then, one low time frame and one high time frame to begin with, as usual, right? So now going back to the left side, zooming back out, you can really see that this area is located mostly throughout here, and you can see it was already tested and reacted to, right? And that first test was quite deep, and it most likely happened during probably like a breakdown of Bitcoin or anything, because that was a drop of 33%. So yes, Litecoin did overreact to begin with, but as soon as if you're still holding this area, we're gonna then analyze it over the small time frame and really see where we can possibly get an entry, right? So now, frankly speaking, if we manage to hold this one, or should I say if we manage to lose this one, probably the next one would be this one, because it's still, and this one is still pretty much tested. But I can go into this one again, even though it has been tested, because we have gained over to the lows on the left, right? So basically we have gained this one, we have gained this, and we have gained this area back. So I can still, even though it's had one giant wick, I can still assimilate, or should I assume, right, that this area still has some liquidity left to it, and not only that some liquidity got added to it, because we did have gained some highs on the left side, right? So now starting off right off the bat with this one. If this area does indeed fail, we will most likely be seeing depths of like $80 to $90, right? Which I'm going to be filling another position there, but I won't be doing 3 trades in one video, because if that does indeed happen, people will probably forget about it by the time it does happen. So if that happens, I'll make a new video for it. And so the first starting off with the higher time frame trade, I'm gonna be doing about a 13% stop loss, as you can see. And the entry should be around from $114 all the way down to $103, with a stop loss on $95, right? And if that does indeed happen and it does fill us, I'm going to take all the way to first TP to the next area, which in this case, it is not the biggest TP that we ever did, right? But it still is almost to our 25%, or should I say $130, right? So it is still at the end of the day, very good TP to begin with. Now, zooming out again, I have to then obviously find some more profit takes, right? And right off the bat, I can really see really easily to spot at this current section is the area right to the left. Let me see, is this also a weekly area? And yes, this would be indeed be pretty much a weekly area. So it's not even strange that we first came up here and already rejected this, because it does look, from the Binance point perspective, it does look to be one of the mainest ones, but I'm not sure if that is also on the other exchanges where the history is a little bit larger. But so far, a large history is not needed for us, because that is all we basically need right now. This basic chart gives us all information currently that we need to make these trades. So now, yes, this is indeed a weekly profit target as well. So we have to, even though we already tested it once, but because we went so deep, like you can see of the likes of 60%, when it comes back up, we have to just take the trade back at it again, and just take that profit take to begin with, right? So yes, the secondary profit take 64%, 4.9 R or $180, so you can really see it starts to get pretty good, pretty juicy still in Litecoin. So Litecoin still has a lot of potential, a lot of potential to begin with, right? A lot of percentages can still be made on Litecoin. And again, guys, before we go forward, all of the prices can also be on the right side of my screen, right? As always, they're all there. so you guys can see that I'm not talking in percentages, as sometimes I get those comments, right? And now this being tested only once, right? So this being tested once, and this kind of is being still being a bullish retrace, right? This is still a bullish retrace. I'm going to now search for a third profit target as well, because I do think there are chances that we are going to be hitting that one as well. And again, it can be seen on weekly, and again, it's going to be right up here. So yeah, the next one then coming all the way up here is almost 100%, or we can say it is 100% if you aim it a little bit above the bottom of the box, right? It is 100% profit take, $218 and 7.6 R. Now, if I delete all of these trades, because this is basically a long time frame trade, and now we find something more locally. Now, of course, you can rewind the video to see this trade again. I'm gonna delete it now, and now I'm gonna scooch over to a lower time frames and kind of see what I can do here. So you can see the current structure that we currently have on Litecoin, right? So normally, if I was scalping, right? So sometimes I do scalps Bitcoin or Ethereum, right? So normally, if I would be scalping after a move like this, my first trade would most likely be here, right? That would be my first trade. Then I would TP here, the price would go up, and then this would be the new untested level. I would bid here, right? So of course, when the price comes down, again, you TP the first resistance as it comes out, right? So now all of these levels have been tested, right? So what else can we do? Well, there is one level untested, which usually sometimes, or I'm gonna say in crypto, a lot of it likes to test, and at this time it is the level has slowly been closely tested, you know, so it is kind of a tested level already, but there is one level you can still bid, and you can still bid it pretty much deep if it does indeed happen, right? It's not the most optimal level, because, you know, speaking of which, if you do go low and you hold it, you will most likely tag the highs, right? But the problem is, if it goes so deep, it will most likely not going to continue bullish, or you're gonna have issues of continuing bullish, and you're gonna have to waiting for ages to see if it's gonna happen. Of course, on a high time frame, right? If you look in this area on the high time frame, if you still hold the area, you will still tag the highs of it, right? So if you hold the area, and this is, as you can see, actually we are a little bit under the area now, so to speaking. But if you do manage to go back into the area, right, and you hold the area, you do have chances of breaking the top, but you're most likely going to have to take way sooner profit takes in order this to be profitable. So you can see, yeah, so we are a little bit late when it comes to scalping on this coin, but there is still one possibility which we can explore at the moment, right? So this one being right down here with the stop loss, and I'm not going to be putting the stop loss way under the low. I'm going to be, because the last week is too big, I'm just going to pick the middle week at this point. And you know, you can see there's a big difference. It's between 5.3 stop loss or actually having 4.1, right? So it's a big difference. You know, when it comes to scalping, stop losses in percentages, they make a whole lot of difference, right? Because a 1% difference, it could be between 2.5 R or 2 R, right? So, and you know, these trades are usually less than 50% to begin with, so you do have to take fast DPs, right? So yes, right now, indulging into this scalp, you know, there's still some opportunities to be made here. The first area we're gonna be hitting is right here. That's gonna be my first profit take, and the second profit take is then gonna be above the high of the resistance that we're currently forming. So yeah, right off the bat, the first profit take, as you can see, I am currently aiming at around 2R, or you know, 9%. Sorry, 9%, or $128. So yeah, basically the trade is under 50%, right? The trade is under 50% hit rate. So yes, if you going to take it, it has to be, the first profit take has to be at least 2R, right? If you wish to make money, right? And I mean, and you also gotta have some reserve behind it, right? Because if the trades, you can easily hit a strike rate of, like, you know, 5 or 6 losses in a row with those trades, right? It does happen too. But yeah, speaking of which, and the next one then being at 17%, $140 or 4.3 hours. So yes, if it goes all the way back to the top and then tests this, then it's obviously very interesting, right? And at that point, I'm only moving the stop loss, right? Or should I say, when it breaks out, when it finally breaks out, if it goes above this, right? If it goes everything above this, I'm obviously moving a stop loss, right? And once it does that, what I then do, I go over back to the higher time frames, right? So let's just say in this case, we can go back to weekly. And I'm just going to target my first profit take from the weekly standoff point, right? Because if this does turn out to be bullish, I do want to have a higher profit take as well. So what I'm doing then is I'm basically turning a scalp into a higher trade, right? So now going back to lower time frames, I'm stretching my profit take all the way to up here, and you can really see 46%, you know, or 11R, and this is where, you know, these scalps really get beautiful, right? So most of the times it's really hard to get into scalps at the right moment where the timing is, you know, turning around. And you know, even though that's pretty funny, I mean, it is a lot easier in crypto to do this than it is in Forex. In Forex, you know, you gotta time it really great, but in crypto, usually levels that get tested once or maximum twice, and then they move, right? So yeah, it is a little bit easier against the Forex, where the levels before it makes a move, they are like tested 5 to 10 times, right? It is really hard when you look at it, right? So yeah, I mean, these are two possible opportunities on Litecoin, you know. So yes, please do subscribe to our channel, share the video if you like this kind of videos, right? I mean, we are showing some good trades out here lately, you know, and most of them are playing out, probably even due to the bull market. You know, trading has been really juicy. And also join us at 340 community channel, where we discuss trades like this, you know, stop losses, and do Bitcoin analysis on daily and stuff like that, right? To really help you on your way to becoming a trader, guys, right? So yes, thank you for watching, guys, and see you in the next one.